What's up guys, it's Joshua here. Welcome to another video. So if you're an epoxy flooring contractor who struggles with any of this, leads go silent after the first message, homeowners seem interested but never commit, you give estimates but never get to hear back, you feel like you're always chasing clients who don't reply, or you even just keep losing jobs to cheap contractors even though your work is better, then this video is definitely going to change the way you look at follow-up forever. Because in this video, you're going to discover why follow-up isn't about bugging people, it's about building trust, controlling the conversation, and converting the 60 to 80% of deals that don't close on the first interaction. So guys, I'm going to show you the real reason epoxy leads go cold, how to follow up without sounding desperate, and how the right system can turn silent leads into booked jobs consistently. You need to realize that most epoxy flooring contractors assume the biggest threat to their business is a lack of leads, but in reality, the number one invisible drain on revenue is simply the lack of consistent strategic follow-up. Every day, epoxy flooring contractors are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on ads. They run promotions, they try to respond to inquiries, and even book estimates. But a massive portion of their potential revenue quietly slips away simply because they didn't follow up enough times or in the right way. We need to realize, guys, that the modern epoxy flooring customer is so busy. These guys are distracted. They're overwhelmed with so much choices currently. So they may genuinely be interested, but they have work. Remember, these are human beings. They have work, they have family, they have budget decisions and daily life. The urgency to hire a contractor doesn't always match the urgency of the contractor waiting for the reply. Now, this is the gap between initial interest and financial decision. This is where fortunes are lost by most epoxy flooring contractors and fortunes are gained by the ones who master follow-up. Follow-up isn't a nuisance. It isn't annoying. It isn't pressure. Follow-up is stewardship, and therefore it's your responsibility as the epoxy flooring contractor to guide the lead, nurture their interest, ensure to provide clarity through the noise, basically cutting through the noise. And once you understand this, you begin to see follow-up not as a bothersome task, but as the single most profitable activity in your entire sales process. Guys, we need to understand follow-up is what determines winners and losers. In the epoxy flooring industry, the contractors who win consistently are not the ones with the best tools, not the lowest pricing, or even the ones with the biggest spend on ads. The winners are the ones who follow up with precision, consistency, and confidence. When a lead reaches out, they're exploring so many options. Remember, these guys have a variety of options and choices to go with. So not committing to one epoxy flooring contractor. So they are comparing you to others, checking availability, analyzing price, reading reviews, and talking to family or decision makers. During this period of indecision, most epoxy flooring contractors vanish. Most of them are silent actually. They send one text, maybe one quote, maybe one call, then they wait, and waiting never closes deals. The epoxy flooring contractor who follows up is the one who becomes and stays top of mind. They become the one who appears responsible, organized, and professional. They become the one who shows leadership instead of hesitation. Guys, follow-up is not about pushing for the sale. Follow-up is about positioning yourself as the easy, trustable, and reliable choice, basically. This is why the consistent follow-up performer closes more epoxy flooring jobs at higher frequency, higher margins, and with dramatically less effort. So follow-up is not even about extra task doing so much. It's the separation line between businesses that grow and businesses that stay stuck. Why is, or rather, what is the psychology of follow-up avoidance? Why are so many epoxy flooring contractors why do most of them dread on follow-up and all that? If follow-up is so powerful, why do most epoxy flooring contractors avoid it? The answer is simply psychology. You need to realize that avoidance comes from fear, the fear of being perceived as annoying, pushy, or desperate. Many of the epoxy flooring contractors believe that if the customer does not respond immediately, it then means that they are not interested. So instead of risking discomfort, they choose silence. But this mindset is built on a false assumption that silence equals rejection, which is a total lie. In reality, silence almost always means these guys got busy. They forgot. They probably haven't talked to their spouse yet, like most of them say or do. Like, I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to this, da da da. They're possibly comparing quotes. Maybe they're just overwhelmed with the variety, all the the multiple choices that are there, or they actually don't even know which epoxy flooring contractor seems most trustworthy. But we need to realize that avoiding follow-up is not humility, it's insecurity. The epoxy flooring contractors who win understand that follow-up is not a disturbance, but a service. You are showing commitment, clarity, and confidence. This is what helps the client make a decision with less stress and more trust. So when you view follow-up through this psychological lens, it transforms from a fearful task to a professional responsibility. Now, guys, just as a small snippet of the neuroscience behind rejection and why you as an epoxy flooring contractor needs to be aware of this. So rejection is not basically coming from you having the sales experience of calling, try to reach out to this guy, this homeowners and all that, having that fear of reaching out and all that. It's a neuroscience kind of thing. It's biological, basically. It's something that is within our nature as human beings. So the reason this fear is so potent is rooted in our biology. Studies in neuroscience actually show that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. So for a salesperson, every unanswered email or unreturned call can feel like a micro rejection, triggering a survival mechanism that urges them to stop the painful activity. This is the call reluctance that undermines sales effectiveness. So guys, how can we now reframe this? The prospect silence is rarely a personal rejection. You need to realize that it's more often a signal of being busy. Just as I said, these guys have family, they have work, they have responsibilities to carry out. So sometimes they might be busy, or probably they just need more information about your epoxy flooring company, or basically they're overwhelmed by options. So when you stop following up, you're not protecting the relationship. You are simply handing a warm lead and your potential profit over to a competitor who's willing to endure the perceived discomfort. Now, we need to understand modern bias and why silence does not really necessarily equate to rejection. Today's epoxy flooring buyer operates in a high noise world because of all the social media and the many technological advancements within social media and the likes. So they browse multiple websites, they message several contractors, they watch a lot of videos, they read reviews, and multitask constantly. So even when they like you, even when they want your service and genuinely plan to hire you, they really may not. They eventually may not respond immediately to you. So this is why you as an epoxy flooring sales guy no longer needs to rely on a single message or one conversation. Why? Because buyers need repetition. They need reassurance. They need reminders. They need touch points that reinforce trust over time. So a lack of response it's not necessarily a no. It's simply a gap in the decision-making process. And your follow-up becomes the bridge that connects their interest to their action. So the more complex or expensive or long-term the epoxy flooring project, the more follow-up matters. Silence is normal, hesitation is normal, questions are normal, but your job as the epoxy flooring contractor or business owner is not to interpret silence as rejection, but to guide the buyer until the moment they are ready to confidently say yes. Now guys, just to look at the mathematical consequences or the hidden costs that not following up with your leads can lead to for you as a business. Now every skipped follow-up has a real price tag, not a theoretical one, a measurable one. For epoxy flooring contractors, come to just try and think of this. This can represent a potential $2,000 to $10,000 plus per job, sometimes even more for large commercial projects. Now, imagine losing that deal not because you weren't qualified, not because even your price, not because your price was high, not because your work wasn't good enough, but simply because you didn't follow up. That's the reality for most epoxy flooring contractors. Neglecting follow-up not only loses the immediate job, it forfeits repeat business, referrals, high-ticket coatings, maintenance contracts, and lifetime customer value. So just tend to imagine this. One lost follow-up can easily snowball into 30,000 to 100,000 US dollars in long-term lost revenue. Now, this is the true cost, not the lead, not the ad spend, but the opportunity that quietly dies due to lack of consistent communication. Now, the follow-up gap, this is where 80% of epoxy deals are won. In epoxy flooring sales, there is a quiet battlefield where nearly every contractor loses without realizing it. This is what we call the follow-up gap, the space between a lead showing interest and the contractor staying consistent to win the deal. So, guys, this is just based on real data, real market statistics within the epoxy flooring industry, and basically within the home improvement industry, and basically just real industry data. 80% of sales actually require 5 to 12 follow-ups. Look at that. But what do most epoxy flooring contractors do? They stop at the second or the first follow-up. And actually only 8% tend or end up to follow up consistently. This means the vast majority of epoxy flooring contractors are losing jobs, not because they aren't skilled, but because they are quitting too soon. Meanwhile, the small percentage who stay disciplined, structured, and patient are the ones who quietly take over the local market. Now, the follow-up gap is where most of the customers, if not all of them, make the final decision. This is where trust is built. This is where doubt fades. It is where your professionalism becomes obvious. Not on the beautiful epoxy floors you can make for your clients or the homeowners. It is where or when you tend to follow up professionally and having professional follow-up systems implemented within your company. Now, follow-up is what creates familiarity. Familiarity creates trust. Trust eventually creates action. Remember, guys, we are currently in a trust recession where the the trust level is so down. So you need to really engage or have follow-up systems and even trust assets, basically, that can give you a leverage above your competitors, basically. Now, the follow-up gap is the space where competition disappears and you rise. Now, these are just data-driven proof why most epoxy contractors fail. The numbers paint a crystal clear picture of why certain epoxy flooring contractors stay average while others scale quickly. Why is it? Most of them rely on the customer's initiative, assuming they'll call back and end up forgetting after 2 to 3 weeks. Lack of a CRM or tracking leads to forgetfulness, leading to vanish amidst job sites and project management. So these are flooring pros who are relying on sticky notes, relying on their memory, trying to remember who they were supposed to follow up on. Another reason is contractors underestimate how busy epoxy buyers are. But silence usually means life just got in the way, not I'm not interested. A single follow-up rarely works anymore. Buyers need multiple touch points across phone, SMS, email, and social media. These are basic sales principles. 80% of the sales need at least 5 multiple touch points, 5 follow-ups. So guys, we need to end this by saying follow-up is often mistaken for pressure. Done correctly, it feels professional, supportive, and helpful. Contractors fail not because of lack of skill, but because of lack of structure. And structure is exactly what the next section delivers. Now, how can we build a bulletproof follow-up system? A bulletproof follow-up system is not built on motivation. It's built on systems and consistency. Step 1, we need to capture every lead immediately. Every lead enters a single system. Our CRM will be using Go High Level within minutes. No opportunities are lost. So instead of relying on sticky notes that you're putting on your fridge, or trying to rely on your memory, or trying to rely on handwritten notes and handwritten contacts, we need to have a CRM that ensures that no lead falls through the cracks. No opportunities are lost, basically. Step 2, we're going to document every interaction. So each call, text, quote, or message gets recorded to provide context and personalization. And we're also going to assign a follow-up date for every lead. Always define the next touch point because you're leading the process, not waiting on uncertainty. We'll also create a multi-step follow-up sequence. Just an example, day 1, you might reach out to these guys with a thank you message. Thank you for reaching out to San Antonio Epoxy Flooring Company and all that. Day 3, we might give them or send them a value-added resource. Day 5, we might give them a phone call. We might give them or share with them a case study on day 10. Day 15, we might nudge them a bit, try to push them and get them to book an appointment with you and all that. Day 15, just sending them a gentle nudge or gentle reminder. Then day 21, we give them the final nudge. Step 5, we're going to use different channels, be it SMS, email, phone calls, social DMs, voicemail drops, because different buyers respond on different platforms. But in this case, we're going to be using our AI appointment systems to be reaching out to these leads until they get to book an appointment and until you get to deliver their service for them. Now, step 6 is basically, as the last step, is remove emotion from the process. Follow-up is scheduled, structured, and system-driven. No fear, doubt, or hesitation. Now, the payoff, turning follow-up into a profit house. How can we turn follow-up into a profit machine? Mastering follow-up doesn't just mitigate risks, it amplifies rewards. We need to realize that epoxy flooring contractors that prioritize this see up to 25% high in close rates. They get to record stronger client loyalty and basically and generally exponential referrals. These are leads that are coming in without an extra spend on ads. We need to realize also that every no or silence is a not yet, because persistent, value-driven follow-up is what turns prospects into partners, ensuring your pipeline flows with abundance. Ignoring your follow-up is the ultimate profit saboteur, because you need to embrace it as your ally, as your friend, systemize it, and watch your epoxy business thrive. Now, for this, we're going to be feeding your follow-up system with high-quality leads, just as as a way of forming a basic or initial foundation for the whole follow-up system process and all that. Now, this way, we need to realize that most epoxy flooring contractors already understand that follow-up is critical. But here's the missing piece. You can't follow up effectively if the leads entering your system aren't the right ones. So this is where we're going to be including social media and paid ads, because When social media, paid ads, and retargeting are executed correctly, they don't just generate random inquiries. They bring in warmer, faster moving leads that close in fewer touches. Combine that with AI-powered workflows and our AI appointment setting system, and you create a predictable revenue engine that consistently fills your calendar. So just as I said, we're going to be running social media and paid ads, basically meta ads in this case, just as I've been saying. So we're going to be ensuring we are having before and after photos, 15-second transformation videos, because transformation visuals actually are what grabs transformation visuals is what grabs attention instantly from what you can see here. So we're going to be having social media ads basically run on Facebook like this, like in this case, right? This is a simple image ad calling out our target audience. This is Los Angeles homeowners, and also including your offer. You can have a simple offer, upgrade your concrete floors in just one day, right? You can also we're also going to be running video ads, video ads that are keeping your audience engaging and all that. So we're just going to be having a blend of both image and video ads. Apart from this, you're also going to include specific offers and lead magnets. So you can have something like get your free epoxy color guide or plus accurate quote in 24 hours pre-qualifies leads, right? So you can have a simple offer like for instance this, save up to $1,500 on any garage floor. Look at that. Who will definitely not sign up for this? So that is why your offer is always king, apart from having good creatives, because currently Meta is really prioritizing ads that have very good and compelling creatives. So of course, the creatives also are going to play a big role, but your offer is what is going to speak loudest to your specific target audience. So you'd rather have a semi average looking creative, but with a strong offer. Definitely that is going to work. But if you just run an image ad without having an offer to your target audience, then definitely this is not going to work. You can also have an offer like recently we've been having Black Friday. So giving them a Black Friday deal like this, Epoxy Garage Black Friday, one car for 1200, 1199. Of course, this is going to definitely work. So these are just examples of the ads that you're going to be running in Meta as the epoxy flooring contractor. Apart from that, we're also going to include hyper local targeting under Meta ads. So you're not just targeting the general homeowners. We're going to ensure that specifically target your we specifically target your audience. Basically, you're going to ensure that you have a specific target audience. You're not just targeting the whole United States, or you're not just targeting the whole country. We're going to ensure that you're targeting audiences that are within your local service area, basically. So this is going to involve uh, targeting audiences within your local area within a 10 to 15 mile radius. We're going to include a 10 to 15 mile radius. We're going to include homeowner clients, target audience within the radius, and basically overall targeting the suburban area, the surrounding environment. Now, what does this result? Leads arrive pre-sold on the look and benefits of your epoxy flooring service because they know roughly what it costs, they are excited about the transformation, and they eventually respond faster. These are the leads that close at 2 to 3x the rate of cold website traffic. Another another kind of component we're going to be having under Meta ads is retargeting ads. This is the silent closer that costs pennies. So these are people who involve or include 97% of the leads or visitors that don't convert on the first visit. These are people who might have reached out or saw your ad, maybe filled your form and did not eventually move forward and all that, or maybe they filled your form and eventually never completed, or maybe this could be leads that reach out to your website and just switched off or clicked off, maybe because of, just as we said, most of your epoxy flooring buyers are, they're basically living in a high, they're basically living in a world where there's high noise, basically. So they have many multiple choices and all that. So retargeting is what is going to allow us to reach out to these people who showed some interest, who raised their hand, like I need this service, but never completed or never got to complete their customer journey. Like, this can be people who never managed to finish or complete their customer journey. So they could have filled in the lead form but never literally completed the submitting the lead form and all that. Or they could have filled in the lead form and then they then being sent to the landing page or to the website to further qualify them and all that, but never just got to complete submitting or giving their information to you as the business owner. So these are the leads that you as the business owner are going to retarget using meta ads. So apart from this, this can also include people who watched 50% of your videos, maybe testimonial videos from local homeowners, abandoned quote forms. These are leads who uh, probably, just as I said, they got the quote form, but they never reached out again. They went silent, they ghosted you and all that because of the simple fact that I told you most of them are busy. Some of them have multiple choices. Some of them are just there to compare prices and analyze who is charging me cheaper or who is going to be more suitable for me and all that. Now, the average cost per booked appointment is $3 to $12. Now, apart from this, we're going to be having our AI-powered follow-up workflows. Now, this is where leads enter the CRM automatically. The AI segments hot, warm, or cold leads, and there's also a multi-step follow-up via email, SMS, and retargeting triggers based on behavior. So leads not ready to book actually continue receiving value until they are ready, just as I've been mentioning in the previous videos. So the leads that are not going to further continue their customer journey, or the leads that just have this kind of doubt and all that, we're going to be taking these guys through an education funnel where you're going to be sending them so much content based on the local homeowners or based on the client testimonials that you have, people who have gotten to receive to get your service and all that. And basically this is just in the aim of building their trust, because we are, just as I've been saying, we are currently in a trust recession. Most people are definitely are just not going to trust you in the first instance. They just need so much to get to believe you or to get to trust that you can be able to deliver what you're claiming through your ads or what you're claiming through maybe your social media videos. Maybe they just came across you on Instagram or Facebook and all that, but we're specifically focusing on ads here. So we're going to be taking these guys through an educational funnel. We're going to be sending them value added resources, sending them client testimonials, sending them content based on what epoxy flooring is, just to lower their trust guard down to this level, basically the lower level. So the result to this predictable, scalable, high converting system, a predictable, scalable, high converting system where no leads slip through the cracks. Now, the system, this is the system. So this is the AI powered workflow or our AI appointment setting system that is going to ensure that every lead is followed up to and that there are no lost opportunities or no lead is following or slipping through the cracks. Now, a lead, a contact that submitted your form who is interested in your service, once they fill in the lead form and all that, our AI is going to register, the AI is going to register that a prospect has submitted an online form. The AI appointment setting system after that reaches out to this lead within 60 seconds. Basic sales principle, speed to lead. You need to realize most of these guys, and I'll keep on emphasizing this, most of them are so distracted. So most of them need to be reached out to so fast before they switch off or before they start looking for other competitors or looking for other alternative options. Now, once the AI gets to reach out to these leads, it reaches out to them with an SMS follow-up, and we are going to be integrating the AI appointment setting system with your CRM, or with the CRM that you're going to be using. And basically, this is the all-in-one platform, or CRM platform, go high level. So we're going to be sending them our first SMS follow-up, something that can go this way: hey John, this is San Antonio with this is Mary with San Antonio. So you submitted the survey for Epoxy 4 program. Would you like to get a free quote set up? Then if the lead replies under 10 minutes, the lead will be automatically moved to another stage called the engaged in convo stage. I'll be showing you that in a while. But if the lead does not respond, what happens? You're going to also integrate a voice call AI. The AI is going to call your company phone number and say that a lead has just come in. So you either press a certain button or number, because you're going to integrate the voice call AI to the CRM also. So once the AI notifies you of the same, and you call and you press the number, then you're automatically connected to the lead, and you get to have a conversation with the lead, just in the hopes of ensuring that they book an appointment with you. So if the lead does not pick up the call, AI is going to wait for 3 hours. If after the 3 hours the lead does not respond, it sends them the first email follow-up. Remember, just as I said, we're going to be using different multi-channel follow-up channels, be it SMS, be it email, all under the AI appointment setting system. So this is done automatically. No manual outreach, no manual follow-ups whatsoever. So after, if they don't respond after 3 hours, the AI is going to wait for 1 day, then sends the second SMS follow-up. Hi John, this is San Antonio with blah blah blah. This text coming through, just to get to understand whether these guys are seeing the text, because most of them are distracted, most of them are busy, most of them have life going on, and all that. It still waits for 1 day, sends the second email follow-up after sending the SMS in the previous day, sending the email follow-up. Just wanted to follow up on my last message. A schedule is filling up. Now you're trying to send them urgent, or we're trying to create urgency, basically, because most of them maybe are seeing this text, but they're just kind of ignoring or ghosting you, and yet they know deeply in their heart that they need this service. But once we now create some urgency, some of the leads tend to now get or make some action. They tend to make some action and get to book a call, or get to reach out to you and book an appointment. So if you send the second SMS and they're still not responding, AI is going to wait for 1 day and send the third SMS follow-up. Then wait for another 1 day, because these guys are not following up. Remember, guys, just as we said, most epoxy flooring contractors will give up on the second follow-up, and then they wonder why they're not really seeing an increase on an additional amount of revenue, closing to 30 to 100,000 in revenue. That is basically even in a year. So most of them are wondering why they're not recording an increase or an additional revenue in their business. Is simply because of this small factor. So they end up giving up, quitting basically. They end up quitting easily without pressuring and pushing these people, because these guys just need a simple push. Most of them, they just need to be pushed and followed up with, until they get to book an appointment, because this is a gold mine. This is where most of the epoxy flooring businesses tend to lose it. Losing one lead in itself can definitely snowball and eventually result to you as the business owner getting to lose. Just as I mentioned, one potential lead can cost you probably, if not 10 to 20 or 30,000 in annual revenue for you as the business, just one lead alone. Now think about the 5 leads that you're not following up on. Think about the 10, 20 leads that you're not following up on. So this is why follow-up is really important, to ensure that these guys get to book an appointment with you. Then it basically sends the final third email follow-up sent, because these guys just seem not to see the text messages coming through. And it's now not that these guys, okay, once the AI reaches this point, definitely means 2 things. either these guys are just not interested in your service, maybe these are just price shoppers, people are just filling lead forms for the sake, or maybe they definitely, or they're actually not really seeing the text messages, they just have life going through and all that. But later, eventually, they'll get to see these messages and eventually reach out to you as the business. So AI is still going to keep them within the CRM and ensure that by any chance or by any case they get or they end up reaching out to you in the future, the AI appointment setting system is going to enable and ensure that it reaches out within the moment they are coming in or they are getting to reach out to the moment they're booking the appointment. Now, the leads that uh, that responded to the lead form and all that now kind of initiated the conversation after submitting their lead form, we're going to be taking this list to the engaging convo stage. So this is where we're going to be, the AI is going to alert the company that a lead has responded to an automated text from the lead automations. Now from here, the aim is simply to engage with the lead. Number one, to engage with the lead. Second is to qualify the lead to ensure that you're only working with the high quality clients, not just working with tire kickers or price shoppers. So the AI is going to register that an appointment has been scheduled, send a confirmation SMS, in something like, hi, blah blah blah, your appointment has been scheduled for this and this. Now this is just coming after the AI qualifies the lead. We need to ensure that before the leads book an appointment, the AI appointment setting system must ensure that you as the epoxy flooring business owner, you're only working with high qualified or high intent leads. You're not working with leads outside your target area or your local service area. You're not working with leads who are just price shoppers, who are just there for to negotiate on prices. You're working with high quality intent leads, people who need the service ASAP, immediately at that moment. So that's just it for that. Now, A is also going to ensure that it sends an estimate proposal and ensures whether the leads have gotten the estimate proposal and whether they are ready to move on forward to the next level. Now, this after the sent estimate proposal, these are just basic pipeline stages that the leads are going to be taken through based on their customer journey and all that. And the AI appointment setting system is still going to be included in this. So the main purpose of this video, guys, was just to show you as the epoxy flooring business owner as to why follow-up is really a gold mine. This is where most businesses are actually missing it and losing a lot of revenue, and just basically trying to debunk the hidden costs that you as the business owner are incurring as a result of lacking a proper follow-up system implemented within your business. And so for that case, this video comes to a close for that. If you're a business owner and you want this same and proper follow-up system implemented within your epoxy flooring business, then definitely I'll leave a link within the description. You definitely get to book a call and we'll definitely have to have a chat and see if this is a good fit and if this is going to definitely work or specifically work for your business. And so with that and without much further ado, hope to see you guys in the next